Hello YouTube, Jojo here, coming to you guys with my first episode of Loadout Roulette. So, the basic idea behind Loadout Roulette is that I put all of my classes, weapons, attachments, camos, and anything else into a randomizer, and it gives me a completely random loadout. I then have to use this loadout to the best of my ability, which I can tell you this time around didn't go too well. So, as far as my loadout goes, I randomized the heavy assault class with my beloved Iridani SMG. Sadly, however, I did have to ruin this beauty of a gun by giving it no rail attachment and no scope. But it's not all bad. I did get to equip my beloved suppressor soft point ammo combo. Sadly, as far as secondaries go, I was not so lucky. I got the Beamer, possibly my least favorite pistol in the entire game. The only vaguely redeeming factor of the Beamer was the fact that I got to slap a suppressor on it, and even then, bleh. My bad luck continued on into the tool slot, where it gave me my hated nemesis. It's a ground to air lock-on, which I hate. I find them boring and, to be honest, quite bad, because there's a lot of situations where I could have dumbfired ESF or shot a tank, but the weapon's lower damage and lower muzzle velocity screwed me over. However, the awesome randomizer which I was using, which I'll give you guys a link to in the description, did give me some nice stuff. I got the advanced shield capacitor, medkits, and concussion grenades. As for my shield, I got the resist shield. Okay, so now you guys know the loadout I was using, I can start whining about how bad it was. The first issue I had was the primary weapon. I love my Iridani, but not for the heavy assault. The reason for this is very simple. It is a close range weapon. It relies on you closing the gap with your enemies and finishing them incredibly fast, which is why it works so well with the light assault and infiltrator, because they can get in there, they can flank, and before you know it, your whole squad's dead to a guy who's just been cloaking in and out, jumping around so you can't see him. However, heavy assaults don't close the gap. Heavy assaults make the gap, which, as you may have guessed, is a problem. In all the footage you're going to see of me using this loadout, you will notice every kill I get, or almost every kill, is in close range. The long range ones take a long time, and to be honest, really aren't worth it. Other than range issues, the other issue I had was ammo. I almost always run an ammo belt with this gun because it chews through ammo so fast. I think you're only going to see me actually die because of this once, but it is incredibly frustrating. Moving on to my secondary, the Beamer. Need I say more? I know that some people like this gun, but for me, it just doesn't cut it. I'm much more comfortable with the slightly lower rate of fire, much more high damage weapons, as I'm not very good at spamming my mouse. Part of this is my fault, however. Quite often, as I would pull out my pistol to finish off a target that I damaged with my SMG, I wouldn't be spamming my left click, because I'm used to a underboss, or a commissioner, or even a Cerberus, which I hate, which will down the target that you've already dealt quite a bit of damage to in a bullet. You don't really need to spam it, whereas the Beamer, it could take 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 bullets to down somebody who you've already dealt damage to. As for the Nemesis, I know I've already said it in this video, but I'm going to say it again. I find them boring and outright bad. The lower damage I'm not used to, and the lower muzzle velocity I'm also not used to, so you'll see it at least once in this footage, I'm sure. Fire to tanks I should have hit because it was moving, and haven't compensated for the slower speed. There's also situations which I don't think you will see because I ended up dying in them before I could get any kills, where an ESF would be begging to be killed by an S1 or a decimator or any kind of dumbfire, and I couldn't do it because I didn't have the damage to do it. It was incredibly frustrating. The concussion grenades, however, were amazing. I mean, I know in this footage you won't see me using them very well, but they were so useful when you didn't see it happening, I promise guys. The only problem I had is that I'm sure you'll see it once in this footage, but concussion grenades in close quarters don't always mix. And this one time, I threw my concussion grenade and a guy blocked it with his skull, resulting in me being concussioned and his friendly heavy proceeding to shred me to pieces. The advanced shield capacitor was both a massive boon and a massive hindrance to this loadout. It saved my life multiple times by letting me have my shield up 4 seconds earlier, and I was really good. However, with the Iridani, I would have much preferred to have an ammo belt, as the Iridani chews through ammo like nobody's business, and at least once in the footage you will see me run out of ammo and die because I do not use the beamer very well at all as a secondary. The resist shield as my shield really didn't work with this loadout either, as the resist shield is very good for sustainably taking hits over longer ranges, where you can see them coming and you know it's going to happen. However, the NMG and the adrenaline shield are far superior in close quarters, as when you pop them, they instantly soak up the damage, meaning someone could jump out on you, and this will be fixed in heavy assault shield nerf because in my view it is flat out overpowered. Someone gets the drop on you, you pop your shield, turn around, and you kill them, and you're still left standing, which is incredibly powerful in close quarters. Okay, so now that whining about how sucky the loadout was is done, I'm going to talk about some strategies you should use if you ever really choose to pick up this loadout, which, if you haven't got anything yet, you really shouldn't do. The first tip I have, and I'm guilty of falling into this trap a lot, is really don't use your nemesis too much. Just because you see an air target does not mean you have to go boop 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 and try and blow it out of the sky. Not only will you quite often not get the kill because of flares or only having one rocket into them, but you'll also end up dying yourself as somebody on the ground goes, hey, this guy's got his face in the sky, and kills you. My next mystical word of advice is remember to use your Iridani for close quarters only. You will see in the footage when I try and use it at range at all, I fail horribly. It's an SMG, it sucks at range, that's just a fact. So don't try and make it do something it can't, please. And finally, use your concussion grenades. They're some of the most powerful grenades in the game. You can lob one of them and clear out an entire room with just your low mag SMG, because they cannot react when their screen's all blurry and their sensitivity is at 1. So you can go into a room and with this rubbishy loadout, shred a bunch of people and feel pro. Thank you for watching, guys. If you like this series or have any tips on how I could improve it, because you know it is brand new, I've never done one of these before, and I know this one was a little bit of me whining about the guns and the attachments and everything. That was because this loadout sucks. Hopefully if you guys like this, next time I might get a good loadout. Also, if you guys have any suggestions that are not to do with the layout of the video, please dump them in the comments as well. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. If you got any good kill streaks using this loadout, or a very similar loadout for your TR and NC, you know, because SMGs are quite similar across factions, put it as video response. I'd love to see you guys trying to use these horrible loadouts as well. Also, if you'd like to see more content and support the channel, please subscribe, and a like or a favorite is always appreciated. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye from Jojo.